Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick here in the studio.
Hi, Amnon. How are you?
I'm fine.
That's good. I'm fine as well. Thank you.
And Spence is here. Need to turn you up. Morning.
What?
I said morning. And Mike is here.
Indeed, he is.
And Steve is here.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning show is made possible by Live Streaming Gear and Tom Sinclair. And also made possible by Telestream Wirecast software. What is happening?
Nick needs to get closer to the microphone.
I can't. It's not my fault. I tried. Amnon has the
He
mic
does?
a mile away from my face.
Why can't I hear you? That's weird.
Because
It's because he's too far away from the microphone.
Very low is why.
No?
Yeah, it's just low.
He sounds far away.
I am far away.
He sounds like he's in the other room.
I am in the other room. Don't worry.
Okay, you guys keep talking. I'll fix him.
No, we're not fixing it. It's fine. We'll live.
I could just have to lower
No,
it.
we can hear him. He's just
Mute the mic and
sounds
I'll
far
lower it. I
away.
can fix it. There you go.
Is it making any
Well,
difference
you're
on this
just,
side?
you're just turning it up.
Yeah, it didn't make any difference when you turned it up. You sure you're on the right microphone?
Yeah, here.
That's interesting.
Go just put one of these down.
Tap the microphone you think you're on.
I know what microphone I'm on. I'm all set.
Okay. Now you're closer now. That's amazing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, pull it towards you. Because it's,
okay. Maybe that's a little bit better.
I don't know.
That's better.
Yeah, but you're sitting kind of
Yeah,
like
no,
this.
well, because that's where
No.
the microphone is like a flashlight, Amnon, and when it's
I know.
higher than your head, it doesn't work. Right, Mike?
I've heard that.
Interesting. That'll be better. That's much
No.
gooder.
I'm going
Most
to do it
most
right.
better.
Mike, you carry on. Or
7 years ago, our fathers never mind.
In the
Spence,
beginning, once upon a time.
there you go. How long was the flight back from Alaska?
Travel time was 12 hours.
How much of that in the air?
8.5.
Yow. What ticket
Ooh.
cost you?
That was nice. It was 2 flights. It's been in the past. It's been 4 flights.
Where'd you connect? Salt Lake City?
No, Seattle, Fairbanks, Seattle direct to Raleigh.
Wow.
There's a Alaska Air and a Delta flight direct to Seattle. No.
So, do you watch Air Disasters?
No.
They had it on. They had it on in the plane.
No.
Yeah, they show the loop.
This is what could happen on today's flight. Thank you for flying blah blah airlines.
That's right.
Just think, if this doesn't happen to you today, think how lucky you are. It was your lucky day.
And we'll be handing out insurance applications.
Please assume the crash position.
Remember when they used to have these little kiosks in the
Yes,
airport that you could
yes.
buy flight insurance before you got on an airplane?
For single flight, yes, I do remember. It's like $3.
All
And
right,
remember
so
the one of the first disaster movies. I don't remember what it was called, but the guy brought a bomb on the plane, and he filled out the insurance as he was getting on the plane because he knew the plane wasn't going to come back. Yeah.
But that fixed that.
Yep.
So how does Nick sound now?
He hasn't said anything. We don't know.
How do I sound now?
You sound like crap, but that's just you.
Sounds a little better.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Anytime.
It's better than it was.
Yes, that's perfectly fine.
The mic was dangling from the ceiling before. It was
We don't
hanging.
use that word on this show. It's a family show.
It was hanging in the rafters.
All right. So what's going on, guys? First, for the benefit of everybody in the chat, after 10, sometime 10:30, we're going to have Larry OConnor, the founder of OWC, as a guest. He's going to call in and talk about their new Mac dock and other. I asked Nick if he wanted a blonde wig.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a little bit after 10, after the specials.
It's a little bit grainy. Does that say Thunderbolt, Doc?
It does.
Yeah.
It's a Thunderbolt.
3.
Yes, we'll talk about it.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I need to fix the Facebook so it's really high res. But we'll do that. So what else is going on? Let's hear what's happening.
Slow internet. Intermittent.
At your house?
Yeah, well, in my neighborhood, I check with my neighbors. Everybody's experiencing the same thing. I've been monitoring my cable modem upstream and downstream signal levels, and it's varying. It's infuriating. I lose 2 channels on my upstream every once in a while.
How many do you have?
4.
Wow, you should have 8.
Well, I get 20 up with 4.
Yeah, but there's something, I don't understand this stuff, as you know, but there's something different between 4 and 8, that there's some sort of lower something. But
Oh, depending on the total number of channels you have, it lowers the
traffic.
signal
per
rate.
channel.
It makes it more reliable because you don't have to pack all the same amount of data into 4 channels. You spread it across 8.
I'll take your word for it.
But
Pack.
it's been highly irregular.
Yeah, we can't listen on Alexa. Amnon, how did you say we get it on the Echo?
Say, Alexa, play TuneIn Nissan Communications.
Okay, we didn't do the tune in.
The what?
We did not say
Yeah.
tune in.
Yeah. Alexa, play TuneIn computers. Geez, there you go again. Alexa, play TuneIn Nissan Communications.
Yeah, we tried that, and it said, "Why do you want to listen to that?"
Oh well,
That's
that's
right.
that. No, then that's their own thing.
You'll have to get yourself a jingle cart machine, Amnon. You won't have to keep remembering it.
Okay. I don't need to do that because I'm here.
No, but for when people ask you how do you listen in on Alexa, you can just go click and the button it'll play.
I need to go and look on TuneIn and see if I can add the name
You
or
cannot. No.
Cannot, huh?
No.
Shoot.
You could create a new channel.
Yeah, you have to create a whole new channel.
What you could do just during the show, they'll let you put periodically broadcast shows on, as far as I know. But then you got to stream to even another. Of course, that would be just audio.
Actually, you could just use the same stream and just submit it
Yeah,
as a new
but-
channel.
Are you doing? Wait a minute, Amnon. Are you
Yes.
streaming to any audio only right now? Of course you are.
Yeah.
How are you streaming audio only?
NCH.
Yeah, and see.
To how you're distributing it?
They come and get it. They come and TuneIn and Stitcher. They log in or they get it from the URL. Why?
Well, because on the appropriate if there's an appropriate link, TuneIn can pick it up from there.
Yeah, they are. That's how it gets it. But the channel, when I set it up, was Nissan Communications. There is a Computers 2K now, but it's not responding to it.
Okay, but since it's only a periodic stream, they may not, unless you tell them it's periodic, they may think you're dead.
I don't think they don't allow periodic streams.
Well, at least check with them and see. They may be changing some rules based on the growing availability of streams online.
Just give them a call. They'll fix it for you.
Yeah,
they'll actually take phone calls. They've been probably the most responsive group I've ever dealt with in social media.
Something is at this point. Something is really wrong with the Stitcher link. It works. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And I sent emails. Haven't heard a word. But
how is that different? How is that different than anybody else? Sometimes you work. Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Yeah. I mean, really, they're just being human.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the Facebook link is up. If anybody wants to watch it in higher resolution, it's there. Okay. So let's see what else has been going on in the world. Now, this is interesting here. At its hardware event, Google debuted new wireless earbuds dubbed Pixel Buds. Pixel Buds.
That's a surprise. Pixel Buds. I wonder where they got that idea for buds from.
But listen to this. These are Google's first wireless earbuds that give users access to Google Translate so they can have conversation with people who speak a different language. That will be interesting to try something like this and see if it actually works in real time. You know, I mean, not somebody talking to you and you sit there and say, "Oh yes." You know, that will be kind of funny. But yep, they have those Pixel Buds. Pixel everything.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah.
They've gone a bit crazy on Pixel everything, haven't they? If you look at the news reports that are coming out, it's Pixel this, that, and the other.
Yeah, it's everything is Pixel. So they soon they're going to have, and unless they already do, they have a trademark on the word Pixel. Now there's some bad news for Netflix people. Netflix subscribers expect prices to go up.
$1, right? $1.
$2, I think.
No,
yeah, on some things $2.
Oh, okay. I'm done with Netflix.
Huh?
I wouldn't mind $1, but $24 a year—that's a lot of money.
The biggest Netflix-related news is that the company is raising its streaming video prices from $9.99 to $10.99. But there's another interesting nugget of information to consider. And that's like a tidbit there. I mean, not tidbit, but a shocker. Netflix still has 3.7 million DVD subscribers in the U.S. who get their discs delivered through the mail for the same $7.99 a month that it used to cost. So that's DVD. You know,
they're pricing themselves out.
That's until the DVDs wear out, and then it's over.
Yeah.
No new titles.
No new titles. Oh no, I'm sure they don't have new titles. But yeah, I can't remember how the structure of the pricing. But new subscribers for the premium will pay $12.99, $13.99. So I can't remember. It was higher.
So it'll be it's $11.99
It's going to go to $13.99.
to $13.99. $9.99 is going to $10.99 or $10.99, which is unfortunate.
Well,
Because this is this problem with cutting the cord that we've talked about. You can have to get Netflix and Hulu, and then the next thing you know, you're spending $70 on services. You can spend $70 on cable.
yeah, it's like a full circle. So you cut the cord,
Yeah.
and now you paying almost as much money, and you don't have the comfort of sitting there with a remote and just clicking through channels.
Like-
Now you have to go, oh, we have to go here. Now we have to do this. Now we have to do that, right?
For example, Sling is $25 a month. That's one service. Netflix is now, was it 14 or 15? 14. Hulu is like $10 or $11 a month. Add one
Sheesh.
other service on top of that, and you're up to the price of one DVR with Time Warner Cable, which I think is it's only like $60 a month or something. So $70 a month maybe. And I'd rather have that than all those services because it's just easier. A whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
The problem there is you don't get the Netflix exclusives and the Amazon exclusives and stuff, do you?
No, that is true. And Amazon too, but most people have Prime, so they pay for that anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so the two, I have Amazon Prime and Netflix, but that's all I'll do over and above regular cable. Spectrum lets you watch live feed for certain channels if you're off net.
You know what
So
you want a great workaround for that? Just set up a VPN. I
Yeah,
do it
right.
all. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's how I watch cable TV sometimes.
Yeah. I was very happy with the broadband service I got when I was in Alaska. I before I went away, I switched to unlimited, and I was using it for tethering. I was using it to watch video. I never had an issue anywhere I went that I had service. And they actually sent me a text message. Oh, by the way, to improve your browsing experience in Alaska, you should turn on all your roaming and your, what is their voice over IP service called?
Who, Verizon's?
VoIP?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, they have a name for it. It's just an
theirs.
enhanced,
Yeah.
Enhanced calling or something like that.
yeah, enhanced calling. That didn't do me any good, but I turned everything else on, and I was I would be in really, really remote places and have decent coverage.
So they told you to turn roaming on?
Yes,
That's
they said it won't
shocking.
affect your plan here because all of the available services we have agreements with.
Interesting.
Well, they don't have many users up there, so
Yeah, but still,
it's not like they're telling people in New York to turn it on.
No, because they'd quickly go out of business if everybody in New York turned roaming on.
Yep.
It's nice when these companies play nice together.
Yeah.
There'll be times when I'd have to tell people, I said, we're going to be entering into an area with no coverage at all for the next 10 hours. Please put your phone on airport mode or airplane mode so you don't kill your battery if your phone is the type that will run down quick for seeking.
Aren't they all like that? I mean, cell phones, I think they're all like that.
Some don't. I noticed with iPhone especially up there, when I'm out of range, it didn't affect my battery. It did not drain it trying to find a connection. So
I don't think Apple checks constantly for a network. I think some of the Android phones just recheck and recheck and recheck. And Apple probably, I don't know, 20, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Even every minute.
If people are going to use the phone to take pictures,
Yeah.
I've had many people call, can I charge my phone somewhere? But some of the best, you got to understand, this is really remote. And some of the best comments I got from people one was, what's the Wi-Fi password on the bus?
I asked Adam that same thing.
If you figure it out, tell me, because there isn't any.
What's the Wi-Fi
The
password?
best one I had, though, is if somebody got on in the morning and said, what kind of food is served on the bus? I'm like, whatever you bring with you.
Oh, man.
And this is, this is, I understand if you cruised a lot and you expect, hey, everything's included. Well, it's not on land anyway.
Everything's included except when it's not.
Yeah. And then I get to there's a remote stop, a break somewhere that has outhouses. And somebody would say, is there a place here I can print my boarding pass? No.
On the bus, somebody wanted you to print their boarding pass.
Well, they would ask where we're stopping.
Oh.
What kind of food do they have in the restaurant? I'm like, there's no restaurant. Well, can I print a boarding pass there? It would be like a little trading post or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Not a little remote lodge that has a generator and a satellite dish, but that's about it. They don't have any. They're not connected to anything. And I want to be able to print my boarding pass. Well, when is this would be coming in the afternoon and they're flying out the next morning early. I said, well, you're going to be staying at a hotel that has all that stuff. Well, I want to do it now because it'll be crowded later. I said, I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
So somebody was going to Alaska in a remote area of Alaska and decided to print their boarding passes.
Yes.
When you were traversing Alaska.
Yes.
That is
and kept asking me every place we stopped. Can we do it here? Can I do it here? Can I do it here? Then I get to this attraction. It's a riverboat. It's a really nice. You ride the riverboat for 3 hours to do a tour. It's really well done. But you pull up to this place, and the front of it looks like an old Western town. And there's one of the buildings is painted hotel, which is not really a hotel. It's just a facade. So, hotel. I should be able to print my boarding pass here.
Wow.
But it was just a few people like that. Most people were cool. But it was one of those things. If you do the job, you just chuckle over some of the things that people ask.
I can understand the Wi-Fi on the bus because if you've ever,
It's common. It is a common thing.
It is common. Even on short bus rides, for the most part, any coach chartered bus will have. It's normally terrible, but normally some type of internet. Food, I don't know.
They're just using mobile broadband.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And funneling it through that, so it's slow.
But food, I don't know. Food on a bus, I don't think I've ever had food on a bus like that.
No. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Everybody I told about it was like, what?
And there's definitely not a business center built into the latrine in the back of the bus either.
No.
That's not.
No, and it is right. It's a latrine. It's an outhouse. It's a tank with blue water in it.
That's a fact.
Yep.
It's just a step and a bar that you hang on at the back of the bus.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Anywho,
all right. I've been following a group in Facebook. I'm in it. It has to do with podcasting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, these are the richest people in the world, extraordinarily successful, no money issues whatsoever, nothing but time on their hands. I mean, it's the life and the lap of luxury, he says with great cynicism and sarcasm. But a guy posts in there a few days ago, he says, how long would you expect it to take you to edit a 30-minute podcast episode? I have a podcast editor. I'm concerned she might be taking too long and charging too much, but since it's not my skill set, I have no idea what time length would be appropriate. So what do you think? How long, if you do a 30-minute podcast, how long should you spend editing it?
Well, I think that's
no more than 30 minutes.
Oh, I disagree. It depends what you're editing. I mean, there's some people that edit a whole bunch of stuff in. They edit clips in, they edit sound in.
I'm saying, if it's 30 minutes long and you listen to the whole thing straight, I'm just joking.
No, but see, Spence, this is the point. This guy asked a question. What does edit mean? Just add music to the front and the back? Does that mean splice audio? Like, that's the thing. That's a stupid question to ask. How long does it take to cut your lawn? Well, I don't know. How much property do you have?
Add commercials.
Yeah, exactly.
Sound effects. Yep.
How many times have you said and ah?
That's irrelevant.
I disagree.
Well, you can.
That's irrelevant.
You know what? If I agreed with you, Nick, we'd both be wrong.
So did they say what they were being charged?
They didn't say what he was being charged, but I mean, what floors me is these people. The typical response is 3 to 6 hours.
What?
Yes.
Wow. I have never. I don't believe I have ever edited
Right.
a
Now,
podcast.
there's sort of a trick answer to the question, because I posted on one. When I posted, I said every bit of 10 minutes. And then a guy wanted to challenge, well, let's hear your podcast. So I sent him the link to Joiner's podcast, which takes me 10 minutes to edit. And because he does it, he rolls with it. He just goes through it, and that doesn't have any openings and closings. But let's be realistic. Show prep and editing are not the same thing.
Correct.
You can take a whole lot of time doing show prep. And Nick, you know that if we're going to do a podcast, we're going to roll straight through it. If we've got drop-ins and intros and things like that, we're going to be using Jingle Palette to do it in real time.
We'll do it live.
And we're good enough to do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it
These
live.
people underestimate their abilities. They go in, and what some of these idiots do is they will actually edit out the breaths.
Oh, God.
Which makes it sound totally horrible.
There's a
Absolutely.
podcast. The Pocket Cast app will do that, but you can turn it on or off. You don't. It's not a.
I won't listen to it. I mean, we had a situation where we had a commercial on the radio station where a certain young lady went in and edited every breath out of the commercial, and I insisted that she take it off. It's not natural sounding. You might as well get an auto tune and do some of these share sound effects as do that kind of crap. Anyway, I just thought it was awesome. If you're anybody who does a podcast, if you're spending, like Spence says, if you're spending over 30 minutes editing a 30-minute podcast, you need to rethink your technique, because you ought to be able to find many better things to do with your time than sitting there cutting out ums and ahs.
And what better still, just don't do them in the first place.
To what
So
benefit
what's
is there to cut out the ums? What are you achieving that's going to make it better? That people are going to get more people because I have no ums and ahs?
Well, just be conscious of what you're doing and just reduce the amount that you do it in the first place.
It makes too much sense. Don't say that.
Yeah, but the thing is that people who are conversational listen to that crap. They listen to ums and ahs. Now, they're not good. I don't like them. I do them. That's the one habit I've not been able to break. But you don't hear me saying like and all the time. And
I know.
when I say I don't do it might be just one. It's called an abominable locution. It's saying is just totally distracting, because if I knew, I wouldn't need to listen to you. Why are you saying I know? You're transferring information to me. If I know, then I don't need to listen to you. So don't say I don't know. I'm learning. I'm listening.
It's also giving the host a false sense of security and knowing that they can edit out all that stuff. So why learn how to not do it?
I agree.
That's actually a great point.
Because now, I don't have to worry. All my mistakes are removed, so I don't have to worry about my skills. So
I consciously think about not using the word or are, and I will pause occasionally for a split second to perhaps think of what I'm going to say. But yeah, you like and and you like. Oh, and like. Speaking to some Americans, as I have been on Pal Talk, it's every other word nearly, or every third or fourth word. What's the matter with you?
Yep.
It's
really
a
distracting.
I know, Mike. I'm aware. I have I have the problem. I say it all the time.
You've gotten much better.
But it's still a struggle.
What's important is progress, not necessarily success.
Oh, there you go.
Success is the end result of progress.
There you go.
It's recognize you have the problem and doing what you can to stop it.
I mean, I think like used to like. I hear like less and I hear more. It seems like that that word is just kind of pivoted from one to the other.
Well, has been there since I've been your age and earlier. I mean, it's been around forever. But until you get into the business of making public presentations, it really doesn't occur to you. You just don't think about it. You accept it and move on. But when you get into the business, what happens particularly as a teacher, whenever you're trying to convey a message to someone, think about sitting in class. The professor is trying to convey some sort of complex concept to you. He or she pauses, says, well, let me think about that a second. Boom, train of thought completely gone. The entire transfer of that concept out the window. They need to go back, start from the beginning. All right, let's go back to the beginning. A plus B equals C plus D equals E. You need to be able to assemble the thought transfer in an orderly fashion, and adding, like, and is a big distraction, particularly in teaching.
Everybody needs to go take the good old original Dale Carnegie course.
Have you taken it?
I have. It was great. It was at a time in my career. The company, IBM, actually sent me to say, if you're going to have a career that's with public speaking, we put everybody through this class. And the most useful part of it was the 2-minute. Get up there, here's your subject, talk about this for 2 minutes, and have a beginning, a middle, and an end within 2 minutes. And here you have 30 seconds to think about what you're going to say.
I had to do that in a college course.
So it's out of Dale Carnegie. It all came out of his concept from the 1930s.
And what was interesting is that there were people who got up there because they would let them speak till they were finished. When they got up there to speak, they had your grade in the room was built on how well you did the assignment. There were people who got up and spoke for 5 minutes thinking they had spoken for 2 minutes.
And they would sit in the back. And if you were, every week you had to get up, and everybody did it at least once a week at the class. But there would be somebody in the back would start out and would hold up a hand, 30, you're in 30 seconds, you're in a minute, 30 seconds. So they could, and they did that in the beginning until you got to the point where you could do a better job of judging it yourself.
I don't know. I haven't listened to myself talking. Do I
Guess how long mine was?
The what?
Guess how long mine was?
How long?
30 seconds.
1 minute and 59 seconds.
Some people have a really good internal clock.
No, you need to practice. That's called cheating. Practice in advance. Time yourself in advance.
Well, that's what I mean. You practice, so you have an internal clock.
You don't have to have the internal clock. Now you do have to be able to pace yourself, and I've
to
done
be
that.
aware of time.
Yes, but you practice and nail it. And I got the highest grade in the room.
Sitting here and seeing other shows going on, and the host will be here and the guest will be on Skype, and the host is trying to say something and the guest is talking as though there are no punctuations in the world. There is no opening for the host to get in and say, okay, and take over. And sometimes these guests just keep on going and rambling, and the host will look at me and say, sorry, there's nothing I can do. But it is a problem. Absolutely a problem. When
Nerves plays a big part of people rambling.
Yeah, if you can't pace yourself and talk and realize there's somebody else on the other side, it's bad. But as far as go ahead, Steve.
So I was going to say, I have a tip for somebody that knows or has been told that they keep saying or like. One really good way of actually bringing that more to your attention and making you more aware of it, and hopefully will get you to fix it, is to have a chat interface. And every time you say like or get them to type it in the room. And then after you've seen about the 10th time of it, you then start to realize, oh my goodness, I'm really doing that much. And then that's a good tip. That helps you.
Okay. I think it would be better for that person to insert pauses.
Yeah.
For them to collect themselves, to be aware of it. So eventually you get to the point where the pauses are less and less and smaller and smaller.
My kids,
The other thing, sorry.
When my kids were young, they started that like nonsense. We'd be in the car going somewhere and they'd say like, and I'd say like. And Dad, stop it. Okay. And then they'd start talking. Then they'd say, and like. I'd say like. Dad, would you stop that? I will when you will. And every one of them has gotten completely away from it. In fact, they even correct other people for doing it now.
But it's not a problem for newer generations because they don't talk to each other anyway.
That's a fact.
It's too much trouble to type like.
We don't type like and. Yeah.
You never see them typing,
That's a good point.
Every fourth word. Because the other way you can do it is stand behind the person that's actually doing the podcast or the talking and smack them across the head every time.
Yeah, just boom. Yeah, that'll work.
There was,
Now,
I don't know where I saw it, but I was listening to a woman talk about generational things, and she was monitoring. Sorry, I said she was monitoring a timeline when the first tablets came out and when the first iPhones came out, and watched how conversation changed, and the loneliness, young people being surveyed, loneliness and feeling like they were alone and feeling they were isolated just spiked. It was incredible how it just changed from that time. I think it was 2008 was when it really took hold. 2009, iPhone came out in 2007, right? So after that, it just accelerated to the point where there's so much now dysfunctional relationships that people are dramatically affected by it. They don't know how to have a conversation, don't know how to walk into a room and walk up to a group of people and initiate a conversation or join a conversation.
Well, if you're lucky, you get, hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks. How are you? I'm fine, thanks. And then that's it. You just don't know. I get this on Pal Talk all the time. I try and help people improve their English. And that's it. That's all you get is a hello, I'm fine. And you say, what have you done today? Or what have you been doing today? And it's like, oh, blimey, you've asked me a question. Well, I don't know what to do. Weird.
To their credit, I remember being on a business trip to Indonesia and staying in a really nice hotel. And at breakfast, they said, we're going to have students who are training to be in the cruise ship industry as servers who will be in the room. They'll be assigned to your table. Would you please converse with them? They know English, but they need to improve their interaction skills. And it was great. Young people wanted, oh, hello, my name is, and where are you from? What are you doing on vacation? What's your business? And they would ask all these questions, and you would ask the same questions of them. And they really did a great job of training these kids.
if you want to hear someone who's not afflicted with the like problem, listen carefully to Clark Howard. I've heard him say one time, and when he did, people just pounced on him. He never says it, but he, in my opinion, does something that is counterproductive. He has lowered his speech rate to such a slow pace so that he can think about everything in plenty of time before he says it, that his delivery is somewhat annoying.
You see, I would just prefer somebody speed up and say like, because that would drive me nuts if somebody was to speak like this all the time.
Have you ever listened to Clark Howard?
I've never heard of him.
It's clarkhoward.com. He's about the number 5, 6, 7, 8 talk show host in the United States. It's all about money.
Okay.
He's a consumer advocate, mainly, but kind of like Dave Ramsey. Although I like the difference between the two is Dave Ramsey is totally against credit, whereas Clark Howard is into managing a credit.
I think they have different audiences.
Yeah, they have different audiences, definitely.
Because I subscribe to both.
Oh, they're both great. They both have great concepts, very encouraging, help people get out of jams, really good training people.
I was the official patent attorney of the Clark Howard Show at one point.
He had patents?
No, he has people he likes to call on for advice off the air. And he said, okay, you can be our official patent attorney. I said, okay. I never followed up with him.
The official drink of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah. I'm not really big on giving away free advice. That may come back to haunt you. At least you need to get enough out of it to pay your insurance.
I have a question.
I'm sorry, we don't do questions on this show. 919-518-9773 to call in and not ask your question.
This is weird. Did Twitter changed something?
Yes, more characters.
But
No
you don't,
kidding.
you don't,
Oh, it's
you
in
don't
place?
see the characters. I don't see them anymore. I don't know how many I have left. It's blank.
You just keep typing. Yeah, I think it's 240 now.
280.
Yeah, 280.
Oh, they said they
280,
doubled
wasn't
it,
it?
right?
They said that they were experimenting.
No,
with
it's fully implemented.
Oh, okay. Well, didn't know that. Interesting.
Now you can just
Saying,
go
what?
for it. Type whatever you want.
But there's
How
a
many
whole bunch of
characters?
people who they can only think in small groups, small thoughts.
Like
So
Trump.
now they're going to have to double the size of their thoughts.
I know Trump's screwed with Twitter now. He can actually, his comments will actually make sense on Twitter now.
How many characters?
It's 280, so it's double.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double.
Which is a lot. When you may not think about going from one, but I mean that'll when you have to cut half of a sentence away for it to fit in one.
Or you have to actually delete a word here or there
Yeah.
just so it'll fit and maybe make sense. Yeah. You're right.
like that will
of
be a good
people-
thing. Just good thing. You just get rid of that will be. 'Cause it's just, it's
yeah.
just too long.
A lot of people get around the limitation by typing it into an editor and then capturing the graphic and just posting the graphic with the text.
Yeah, that's an effective way to do it. And media on Twitter has a much higher read and view rate than regular text. So, because when people see an image, they click on it. I mean, I do the same every time. When I see an image, I click on it. You want to see what it is?
All right. So if you are using Brother printers, a security researcher has found nearly 700 Brother printers left exposed online, allowing access to the password reset function to anyone who knows what to look for. Discovered by somebody, principal researcher at New Sky Security, the printer offer full access to their administration panel over the internet. He has provided Bleeping Computers with a list of exposed printers. Accessing a few random URLs, Bleeping has discovered a wide range of Brother printers, such as DCP 9020, CDW, MFC 9340, MFC L2700, some others, just to name a few.
Wouldn't these have to be configured to be remote access?
That's what I don't know how this is possible. When I have a network printer, and when it went in there, it needed to know whether you want to manage it over the internet or not. And why would you want to? Come on, you configure a printer and leave it alone. Use it. So I don't know. He says the cause of all these exposures is Brother's choice of shipping the printers with no admin password.
Great.
Now, the truth is, there's nothing you can do about shipping a new one, even if it's with all those Netgear routers. Yeah, they have a password, but everybody knows it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no difference between no password or
Default
a password that everybody can find out. Most organizations most likely connected the printers to the networks without realizing the admin panel was present and wide open to connections. These printers are now easily discoverable via IoT search engines like Shodan or Census. So if you have a network, if you have a printer that's on your network, and that's how you're connecting to it, you need to make sure that there is a password on it. It's not like it's going to ask you for a password every time you try to print. It's only for configuring it over the internet, or I guess even if you're doing it locally, it'll ask you. I don't know. But you should do it, and it's not just Brother. I'm sure the other ones suffer from the same.
It's funny. I don't, unless you're in a commercial environment, I don't really. I know there's BR Admin,
Yeah.
which is the Brother app you can install, which I think I have
Right.
it on one machine. I never use it. I don't have to. That's the beauty of Brother Printers, is that you don't really have to get into this stuff. If it's just in your local network at home,
No.
these automatically set up web services. So if you want to add a printer, it's really easy. If you don't know how to do web services, just go in and put in the IP address, create a new port, it loads the driver. Never have to get into BR admin. I'm not looking at statistics.
919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on
They're
Skype.
changing the name of Brother Printers to People Printers because Brother is sexist.
Fact. Hurts my feelings.
Because it's not a sister printer, it's a brother printer.
My feelings.
So I think we need to have a movement now. People printers. No, none of this brother and sister stuff.
Good idea. I'll back you.
Human printers.
Human printers. There you go. Well, yeah, but then now you're discriminating against people that don't identify as humans.
Nick, we found the cause. This is it. We're going to make a ton of money with this.
I'm all in.
Fundraising. Here we go.
Let's do a GoFundMe.
Yep.
We'll do it in Amnon's name. It's fine.
That's right. Amnon, we need a bank account number.
Okay. Do it with Wells Fargo. They have all kind of accounts that.
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of 1.4 million fake accounts, so whatever.
What is it, Spence?
I raised my hand. I was pushing back on my blue screen
Oh.
because it turned to the point where it was touching me.
Oh, you're on a blue screen? I thought you. Okay.
No, I got a blue screen behind me. Felt.
Can't tell.
I need to come. I just can't figure out a way. I have it on a stand. It's actually an old drum stand from a drum set, and a cymbal head stand that I converted into my bracket that holds my. Here, see if I can show you. I have it on here someplace. Which camera do I have? That's not it. Well.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It looks fine.
I need to figure out how to do this anyway. Make sure I can do it. Here we go. See, it's on a.
Oh, there you go.
It's on a stand behind me.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's fine. It's felt.
It's felt. It's svelte.
It's svelte. Nobody wants to call us, huh?
Oh, I'll call in.
919-518.
Let's both call in, Nick, and we can have a
conversation. Yeah.
Conference call.
All right.
So I'm having a debate with a guy on Facebook who considers himself he calls himself an audio professional in all of his posts.
Oh, boy.
And he's arguing with me over the audio processing for microphones for podcasts.
Yeah.
somebody's calling.
He sort of knows what he's talking about, and I'm not really disagreeing with him, but he just wants to be argumentative. I posted, for example, this will get really technical for a brief second, but I'm not wasting time arguing with him. He's talking about which headset mic, never use a headset mic under any circumstances. And I'd say, well, normally I disagree with you, but I suspect you've never tried a DPA 4088 headset mic. And he said, then he goes and grabs the frequency response curve for it, and it shows that it has a little bass roll off and a little high frequency peak on it. Well, see, this is not going to sound natural. You moron, because of its being a headset mic and where you position it, it causes attenuation in the high frequencies, and it accentuates the low frequencies. So when you add the placement in the real world environment to the microphone, it ends up with more of a flat signal. But, you can't get into all that. People got their minds made up.
No.
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
You remember that presentation I gave at the local podcaster meeting?
Yes.
They're asking me to do it again. Do you think I should?
I'm not the one to ask.
I think you should. There's a lot of podcasters.
I'm not the one to ask, Mike.
Why am not?
Because I told them to ask you again.
Oh, well, that's great. That gave me the response. Amnon said that he was insulted you had not asked him.
Of course you should do it again. I mean, this is
people don't listen.
Mike. A
That's
lot
what
of
we
people,
talk about. Mics, yes.
Mike, a lot of people don't
Mics, yes.
a lot of people don't listen, but there's always new people who will listen. And when we talk to public, we have to say things again and again, and you have to take it for granted that 50, 60, 70% of the audience is not going to retain anything. But the 30% that do, it's worth it to know that you helped them. So if there's going to be 2 or 3 people there that will go home and say, okay, Mike says such and such, this is what I'm going to do, you did your part.
Is there free lunch?
No, you have to pay
No,
to go.
You have to pay.
Well, no, I'd say let them pay for your admission and give you
Well,
free
they
lunch.
will. They've done that before, but
Yeah.
I volunteered to pay anyway. But, I mean,
All
that's
right.
not a money making deal.
Let's see. Let's see who called in. Let's see. Caller, are you there?
Hey, good morning. It's Nick in Wilmington. What's going on?
Oh, hey.
Hang up on that guy. He's going to use profanity.
Yeah, I'm listening to the show. Just wanted to call and say, great show, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Nick loves that guy. Nick, you have.
Well, we can say we had one good call today, at least.
We can say we had one call. I don't know about good.
We had our quota of calls for them in 1 week last week.
We did. We had a whole bunch of calls
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Mike, to
Okay.
answer your questions, yes,
Now
you
that
should,
we're back
you,
from
should- you
that
really
distraction.
should do it.
Yeah, you should do it, Mike.
I mean,
agree.
I know you enjoy.
No, seriously.
No,
come on,
okay,
guys.
no, hold on, stop. I'll give Mike an actual answer. Mike, you have a wealth of knowledge
I do.
in podcasting,
I do.
and there is, in my opinion, there's no reason that you shouldn't do it. And like Amnon said, there are going to be people there that have never podcasted before that are going to appreciate your advice.
Then they're going to go buy a Blue Yeti.
Oh, yes, you're right. No, but you're right. Some of them will. You're right. Absolutely, some of them will. But some of them will also buy an HR 2100 and a Behringer 802 or a 502, and then they'll be doing their podcast. So, yeah, I mean, Mike, there's some, obviously, there was people that are going to go there already knowing, or they're already podcast experts, as you're aware, with their Blue Snowball. But there's other people that really just don't know what they're doing.
The way that it transpired, Mike, really, is somebody asked for you to do it. No, they were saying there was somebody here that gave a talk about a year ago. I would like to see something like that again. And I came in and I said, ask Mike. He's in town. Ask Mike and see when he can do it.
What?
I'm surprised you didn't get that message because, I mean, we are on the same list.
What's
I
the
don't
venue?
recall.
It's North Carolina Podcasters.
On Facebook.
Yeah, it's
like North Carolina tractor enthusiasts.
it's like a meetup thing.
Oh, I'm going to join that group now.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike, I'll
it's-
go to the event and I'll throw you some softballs.
I don't like softballs. I like the hard questions.
All right, then I'll ask you some tough questions.
All right. Speaking of tough questions, how are we doing on satellite?
One works, one doesn't. I don't know. It's a good
So
question.
you're 50-50.
Well, actually, we're 100% because the one that
100%.
isn't
100%
working
down.
because one is 100% down, but the one that's 100% down is being backed up via IP. So
Nothing to be concerned about.
no, I don't
Did
know.
somebody kick one of the legs out of your dish or something?
Good question. No, seriously, this is Mike. Can you explain what's going
No,
on?
you go ahead. You start from the beginning, and I'll just be critical.
What do you use to manage
Hold
your
on a second.
connection?
Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I was reading an email I just got. So it started 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock Friday night, we started getting a notification that our satellite newscast was being delayed. It was about 40 or 50 seconds delayed, and I was getting a notification after 15 seconds of dead air. And I didn't think anything of it. The news provider's been pretty sloppy in the past, so I just assumed it was something on their end, nothing to worry about. So went to bed and woke up to, I don't know, Mike, 15 notifications of things being off and not running and off the air. And it appeared that overnight there was no signal on either of our satellite receivers. And then I woke up at 9 o'clock or so, and everything was fine. At 9 o'clock, the signal strength was good and everything. Didn't think anything of it until about 7 o'clock last night, when again I was getting notifications, and I logged in and looked, and both of the satellites were reporting no signal again. And now that I look right now, one has perfect signal, the other one does not, and that's kind of where we're at, unfortunately.
It's weird.
It's the Russians. It's the Russians, definitely.
Yeah, it's the Russians, right? We never took that into consideration, Nick.
It could be the Russians.
Nick, is it a contractor that manages the actual dish?
I don't know. That's a Mike question. I'm not really sure.
No.
So you manage it yourself? What
Well,
do you use?
I don't manage it. No, somebody else
No, I
manages
mean the
it.
station.
Supposed to be managing it, but he doesn't.
No, well, I have no way to manage it. I don't have any experience managing it, so that's
See,
not.
that's not a prerequisite.
Okay.
So no, the guy we bought the station from is managing it. He has a guy in Florence who does his satellite work. He's going to have to engage that guy to get him back over there. I told Nick last night to go over and look at the dish and see if by any chance there's a hornet's nest building a nest inside the feed horn. And he kind of laughed and poo-pooed that. And so he contacted the former station owner last night, and he replied this morning to go over and said they'd had hornet's nests in the feed horn before, and he might want to check that. And then Nick rightfully says, wait a minute, though, why at 7 o'clock each night? And I told him that's what time the hornets get off work and go home.
But there actually might be some legitimacy to that.
Stranger things have happened where we had outages in a phone line that would only start after the sun went down, just because that's when the squirrels would come back to their nest.
I get it.
And it killed our phone line.
So the question I posed to you, Mike, was how would I get a hornet's nest out of the feed horn without hitting it and knocking it off or moving it?
The feed horn is not fragile.
You also don't want to stand in the beam because it's a two-way. Is it one-way antenna or two? Is it a
two-way?
Uplink? It's just a downlink.
Yeah, and even an uplink is not but like 5 watts, is it?
No, but it's still microwave energy, and it's not good for you.
You just spray it.
Yeah, but it's not going to fall out once you spray it.
No, then you get a stick and knock it out.
Right, then it's just stuck with the little bitty stem.
Well, this has to be a pretty big hornet's nest to completely degrade the signal, I would think.
No, not
doesn't
really.
take much.
Doesn't take a lot at all because it's before the amplifier.
It's low power at that point. I bet the satellite is 5 watts.
So anyway, Nick, when you get over there, and I don't suspect it's the case. It's just the easiest thing to check. You check the easiest things first, just in case. But what you look up in there, and like Alan said, it could be squirrel vision. Maybe there's a squirrel in there. Who knows? But if let's just say you were to see a hornet's nest, I believe that there is some hornet spray.
There's not. It was stolen.
Stolen or used up.
Well, it was full, and now it's not there, so I have to go buy some.
Right, but you need to make sure you get the industrial version of the Wasp and Hornet, not at a grocery store. You have to get it at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Well, then tell me what I need to get, and I'll go buy it.
Well, I'll find it. If you get there and find it, you get it. But the best place to get it is, I don't know if you know this, Spence, but the best place to get this Wasp and Hornet spray is at the electrical supply houses or one of the telephone supply houses. They have a version that's not sold to the consumer. And I mean, that stuff will knock the beacon off a tower. It's so powerful that when you spray it, and it's long range.
That's what I need. I need something long range because I don't want to.
And when it hits them, they're gone.
It's
is
like
the place, is the telephone
second.
supply over by the fairgrounds?
Been gone.
It's gone. No, too bad.
The stuff that they have at Home Depot or Lowe's, I use it, and it is perfect. It's long. It's a string.
How long is long?
I mean, maybe 10 feet.
That's what I was going to say, 10, 15 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, that 15 feet would be good.
The minute it touches them,
the feed horn is very
they're
high.
gone.
Do you know where to find it at the store? Because the consumer stuff is not bad, but this stuff is unbelievable.
Gene says sprayed at night. That's a good idea, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's
Nick's scared of the dark, so that's not going to work.
yeah. I'm afraid of the dark.
Scout it out during the day and then go at night to spray. So just so they're
Yeah, I guess that's
active.
Yeah.
Gasoline works good too.
It really does. Just
And
don't
a
say
match afterwards.
it. No.
That would be great.
But somebody told us there was my daughter, when they moved into their house, somebody told them about a cure for yellow jackets, which were nesting in a nest in the yard in the ground, and it was bad. Just fill a long neck beer bottle with gasoline, take it over there at night, turn it upside down, put it in the hole.
I like that. Flamethrower.
No, well, you never light it. Oh no,
flamethrower would work perfect actually.
And you can see where you're hitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Spence, are you ready to do the specials?
I need a minute just to get there, but yeah.
Nick, would you put it in the chat? Are you on it?
Yes, I can. But nevertheless, that's my project for today. Hopefully. Oh, yeah. Nevertheless, that's my project.
Okay, let's see. Let me make it bigger. How to make it bigger?
That's what she said.
That's what I say. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Computers 2K Now specials for October 8th, 2017. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Oktoberfest? Let's go to Oktoberfest. That'd be fun. Okay, starting with laptops. We have at Best Buy, we've got an HP 17.3-inch Intel Core i5 for $429. That's $100 off. Office Depot has a Lenovo Flex 15.6-inch 2-in-1 laptop, Core i5, $579, save $220. I've installed 2 of these for customers, and at first I was very skeptical about they call it Flex, and it's because it actually does flex. It's made out of carbon fibers, but they have held up really well for a year, and the customer's very happy with this particular brand from Lenovo. So it's $220 off. Staples has a Pavilion laptop, Core i5, HP, $469 for $170 off. Desktops, we've got an HP Pavilion AMD A10. And the only reason I mention these machines is because the price point is significantly less than some of the comparable Intel. $349, $100 off for this desktop, 8 gig of memory with a 1 terabyte hard drive. Office Depot, Office Max, Lenovo Idea Center with an AMD A12, $399, save $200. They're making a big deal at Office Depot about eligible for trade-ins, so look at that. I'm not sure what the rules are. Staples has a Pavilion model 570 desktop Core i5 for $449. That's $150 off. Okay. What did I do here? I put monitors in the tablet section. I apologize for that. Now I know why I had to go back and do the monitors again.
It's all right.
All right, so we do have one monitor here under Staples, and that is the IdeaPad 9.7, 32 gig for $299. It's $30 off. Yeah, I apologize there. Well, I was a little groggy this morning. It's the first time I've done it in, almost 3 months.
Yep.
So, all right, moving on to networking. We have at Best Buy a Linksys 1750 AC dual band router for $109. That's $20 off. If you don't have an AC router in your house now, especially if you've got newer devices, the prices have really come down. It used to be they were $200 or more to get an AC router. These next 2, there's no excuse now at this price point, $109. You can pick from the Linksys. You can pick from a TP-Link. I'd go with the TP-Link personally. Office Depot has TP-Link AC 1900 dual band gigabit router for $109. That's $30 off. And Staples has a Netgear DOCSIS cable modem. This is 24x8 for $109.99. Save $20. Excuse me. Storage. Best Buy has a 8 terabyte USB 3.0 drive. 8 terabytes.
I'll wait for the 16.
16, yeah. You may as well. It'll be tomorrow. They'll have it come out. It is $179.99. Saved $120. And that looks like if that's the form factor, it's a single hard drive.
Yeah.
Amazing. Used to be that when you got up anything over 2 terabytes, you had to have 2 drives. Remarkable. Office Depot has USB 3.0 32 gig USB 3.0 flash drives for $12.99. It's $12 off. Have a little bit more than half price. Staples has a Seagate Backup Plus portable 4 terabyte drive for $109, save 10. Accessories, we have at Best Buy J5 Create USB 3.0 gigabit Ethernet and 3-port hub. Now, I just ran into a situation where I could have really used one of these, and I don't believe I did this. Amnon, I threw away or recycled my Netgear USB Ethernet adapter because I said, I'll never use this again. There are no drivers. There are no drivers past Windows XP. I'll never use it, right? So I dumped it. And guess what I had to try to rebuild this past week? An XP machine, which I abandoned. That idea didn't last. I actually found newer versions of the software I had to fix for a customer, and I went with Windows 7. But this is a handy device. When you're building a machine from scratch and the Ethernet driver is not there, when you do the OS load, this is the way to go. Plug it in. You have the driver right there. You can get your network connection, start to download your drivers and updates and all that stuff. $29.99. It's $15 off. It's a great thing to have in your kit. Office Depot has an APC 900 VA battery backup system for $79.99, $20 off. Staples has Logitech C920 HD Pro webcam for $69.99. That's 10 off. Now we'll look at monitors. I usually go with the cheapest ones. It doesn't mean that there aren't good deals out there on more expensive ones. It depends on your requirements. But Best Buy has a 23-inch Dell for $109, $70 off. Office Depot has a 22-inch Dell for $99, $50 off. And Staples has this is a good deal, 23-inch Acer for $79.99. That's $70 off. I love big monitors. I have 23s on both of my desks here, twin 23s, and it really is nice. Printers, scanners. We have a Canon Pixma wireless all-in-one printer for $99, $50 off at Best Buy. Brother, MFC L2700DW. This is probably my favorite printer out there from Brother because it's as a utility printer, it's great because it's got a scanner, it's got a fax machine, it's got high capacity cartridges, laser cartridges. This is a mono laser, but $129, $70 off. And the same one is also available for the same price at Staples. I put it up there twice because I'm so happy with these printers. Home automation and security. Best Buy has, now don't make fun of this because it says Project Nursery Baby Monitor. This can be used for home security too. It is a wireless monitor with 2 cameras that have a 2-way sound, excuse me, for $149.99. So you can set it up. You want to have an inexpensive way to keep an eye on your house. Or you could be upstairs, monitoring your front door or whatever you want to do. Very flexible. $149, Best Buy. Office Depot has Zomoto 4-channel, 4-camera wireless security system for $269. Now, what I like about this is it's got 2 outdoor cameras and 2 indoor cameras. So for an IP setup, this is a reasonable price. You can get it a little cheaper depending on the brand. I like Zomoto. I've installed a few of them. Need to knock on some wood to say that they've been doing well. Staples has the Guardzilla outdoor and indoor cameras, but I featured the outdoor one today for $89. That's 10 off. Still a very good option. One of the first out there with a small, portable, inexpensive wireless camera with motion capture, onboard motion capture. Doesn't have to go to the cloud. But there's lots of options out there now. They were one of the first to market. All right, and finally, product focus. I came across Corner while I was away. This is a new security app. The entry level for this product is about $80. You can get a couple of these. They call them Corner. If you look at the actual sensor, they've got the base station, which plugs into the back of your router or your switch with the 85 dB alarm built into it. And then you have the wireless motion sensors. Actually, they're not switches. They're motion sensors. And you put it into...
So what are we seeing? What is the first one next to the phone?
The first one is the actual base station.
Okay, so
with
that's
the
what's
alarm
plugged
built in.
in.
It's got an Ethernet jack on the bottom. It just plugs into the back of your router or switch
Okay.
on your home network. Then there's the app. You don't have to pay anything to use the app locally. If you want to do other types of monitoring, you can get professional monitoring service through them. But you can just use it to say, I'm away. This thing detected motion in my house, sends me a text message.
Okay.
But starting, this particular one is a 3-sensor package. They have a 2-sensor package that's cheaper. You can buy individual components. You look here, it shows you, there's the stick. You plug it into your, it's on the left-hand side. Then you place the motion sensors where you need them around the house. And then it supports up to 25 tags of these.
So it's not something that senses you moving in the room. It's actually
it's
has
the motion
to
sensor
move.
of the device it's attached
Right.
to.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure they'll come out with more stuff. But here's another one. It's just, one of their side benefits is it can be used as an Alzheimer, dementia, or wandering alert. You put one of these in somebody's pocket, and it monitors where they're moving around inside the house. And if it moves past the perimeter or goes out of range, it'll send you a note to say, oh, by the way. So you can put it on, you can use it to manage assets. You have a expensive device in your business, you put this on there, and if it leaves the premises, hey, you get a text message. This is really very cool.
Cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, I like this a lot. So I don't know if I'm going to buy it, but I do need to come up with a entry-level alarm system for the home here. So that's it for Computers 2K Now specials for October 8th, 2017.
All right, Spence. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good stuff. Everybody missed the specials.
It wasn't special if there's no specials.
All right. Moving right along. Mozilla, you're talking about the computer that you were working on. Mozilla announced last week that they plan to stop all support for the Firefox browser on Windows XP and Vista in June 2018. Earlier this year, Mozilla already moved Firefox users on XP and Vista machines to the Firefox 52 ESR extended support release. The move of XP and Vista users to Firefox ESR was previously announced in December 2016, when they said that they would provide a final answer on Firefox support for XP and Vista in September 2017. Well, it arrived and passed, and after an internal review, they announced that it would sunset all support on Firefox on the two Windows platforms. So,
and you know what? I am not at all upset about it, because the faster we can make Windows XP go away, the better. Seriously,
it's not going to go away. I mean,
but you can still
download
Chrome.
Chrome
works.
We still have people that choose Windows 2000. So
I know.
You know.
If you're in a closed environment, that's fine, but
Yeah.
you have to understand the risks of what you're doing.
That's the thing, is a lot of people don't understand the risk.
That machine dies for some reason, even if you have it backed up, it's going to make it very difficult to restore. So
Yeah.
try to find the drivers. If you don't have a clone, and I made 2 clones of this machine. Actually, it's Windows 7, so it's not that big a deal. But I took the original XP drive that was in this machine. That was the hardware that failed. The system board failed with the bad capacitors. I made a clone of that, and anything I did to restore or build from, I used the clone drive. So I didn't want to touch the original drive. I didn't want to mess up the accounting application and data. But imagine you have to move to another platform, which I tried to do. I tried to install XP, and I said, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the manufacturer or the software company and found out there was a newer version of their software that supported Windows 7. So I said, I'm doing this. And the subscription that this customer had allowed me to download that new application. So although it's still sunsetted, they don't manufacture, don't sell it anymore, it's still being supported for a short time. But try to build a machine, an XP machine, on new hardware. Good luck. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Unless you can write the drivers yourself.
Yeah. Oh, that's an idea. I'm going to sign up for a 2-year course. Go back to school and learn how to write my own drivers.
Write XP drivers.
Yeah. I knew people that did that. Places that I used to work that would go in and they like Netgear. I knew the people that worked at Netgear and the guys that wrote drivers. That was interesting.
Talking about security, U.S. officials are, and I'm adding the word finally, studying ways to end the use of Social Security numbers for identification following a series of data breaches compromising the data of millions of Americans. You know, this is like, if 3 people will die in this on this corner, then we'll think about putting a stop sign.
Yeah, I know.
That's coming from Rob Joyce, the White House cybersecurity coordinator. He told the forum at the Washington Post that officials were studying ways to use modern cryptographic identifiers to replace Social Security numbers. He says, I feel very strongly that the Social Security number has outlived its usefulness. Really. It's a flawed system. For years, Social Security numbers have been used by Americans to open bank accounts or establish their identity. But stolen Social Security numbers can be used by criminals to open bogus accounts for other types of identity theft. This is great. This is nice. But I would like to see it done the other way around. I would like them to continue using the Social Security number for identification, call it something else, and give us all new numbers for Social Security numbers. That will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll have 2 numbers we'll have a new number to guard or to have our identities behind that nobody has. And the ones that they have, all you're going to use it for is for identification. And, wherever they use it, where you always used to say, why do you need my Social Security number for? These are places that are meaningless.
What was that? You remember YubiKey?
Yep.
That concept. I'm reading into the article now about this, about some type of a digital physical token, digital key that would be, if you stole it, would be useless unless you had the PIN or the password to go with it. And you could add other multi-factor authentication to it. So if you wanted to open an account or authenticate your Social Security number, you plug it into USB, you go through the routine, you enter the key, you could use some biometrics, you could scan your thumbprint. All this could go away. It could all go away.
Well,
it's not that hard to do. But think about all the turmoil it would create in the Social Security Administration.
They're getting paid enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I always thought that was, especially when the Equifax thing happened, and we were part of that. I mean, half the country's part of it, right? But just going through the process of putting a freeze on all 3 credit bureaus, it's like, why do I have to do this? This is crazy.
And that actually, I found out this week that the freeze actually works.
Oh yes, because I went in, I did them all, and I hadn't signed up for Credit Karma for Pam yet. I did myself, signed up for Credit Karma, and I tried to sign up for her. It says you can't continue your enrollment because your credit is frozen.
Well, I actually got something in the mail that they offered, like, something for 18 months, 0 and all that. And I said, yeah, sure. I got something back. You were rejected because you have a freeze on your...
Yep.
credit, so you need to go and unfreeze it if you want us to consider it.
I can't
So,
think
nope,
of any
that's fine. Never mind.
good reasons at this point. I don't know what happens in the future, but right now, there's no reason for me to unfreeze it.
No. No.
Got to get out the hairdryer and thaw it out, right?
And talking about, do we talk about Equifax, or you want to leave it for tonight to talk on your show?
Okay.
Nick?
What? That's not even.
Equifax.
Oh, good. Talk about it. Whatever.
Oh, they got a contract for the government.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, that's.
Can you believe that?
Unbelievable.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
This is absolutely, positively ridiculous.
Well, that's the gears of state turning, because it would take, how long would it take for them to stop the process? If it's already too late.
Bureaucracy at its finest.
That's it.
IRS will pay Equifax $7.25 million to verify taxpayer identities and help prevent fraud under a no-bid contract issued last week.
Yeah, that's the best part about it, the no bid part of it.
It is, what is going on?
Yep. Oh, well.
Ridiculous. Where? No, he's not here yet. Now, hey, Steve.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, Steve. Not content with trying to combat encryption, the UK government also wants to criminalize looking at terrorist content. The leading Conservative Party has announced plans which threaten those who repeatedly view terrorist content online with time behind bars. New laws will be introduced that could see consumers of terrorist content imprisoned for up to 15 years. The same maximum sentence would face those who share information about police, soldiers, or intelligence agencies with a view to organizing terrorist attacks. This is...
How do you define that?
Well, I mean, yeah, they can do that. That's not something that's hard to do. I mean, you just see what, I mean, if you have access to logs of the ISP, you can see who visited, and if people are visiting it again and again and again. I mean, who in their right mind would want to go and look at terrorist content?
Well,
I can.
I mean, they've got to do something. They've got to do something, but as always with the British government, they're so heavy-handed. I mean, basically, at the end of the day, if you want to surf the internet from now on, you've got to do it with your eyes closed.
No.
Ridiculous. What happens to the people that just happen across it? You know, just by
Well,
clicking,
I'm sure. I'm sure that they are going to go after people that go there again and again, or spend a lot of time. And I mean,
yeah.
You know, there are ways to tell if somebody is interested in that. But to put it as a policy, you know, wow. I don't know.
Makes you wonder what they're going to do next. This government is, I mean, they're wrapping kids up in cotton wool, and the children shouldn't be allowed to see this, that, and the other on the internet, and ISPs need to be having parental locks and things put on people's computers. When, you know, there's no children in the house, they just do it by default, and then you've got to ring them up and say, no, I want this lock taken off, please, because it's just stopping me from doing what I want to do on the net.
Mm-hmm.
It should be an opt-in thing, not an opt-out.
Google. That's a nice. We always rag about good Google. This good. Hurricane Irma and Maria wiped out more than 90% of the cell phone coverage on Puerto Rico. Now the FCC has given Project Loon permission to fly 30 balloons more than 20 miles above the island for the next 6 months to temporarily replace the thousands of cell phone towers knocked down by the two hurricanes.
And they're looking for volunteers to fly in those balloons.
I got some people to nominate.
6 months. They'll send them up there for 6 months, 20 miles.
No bathroom.
Each balloon can service an area of almost 2,000 miles. So the hope is to restore service to the entire island of Puerto Rico and parts of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And reading this, I was saying to myself, why can't they just keep that up? Well, hey, Larry.
Well, I think it would be more difficult to maintain than having, ground-based antennas. I mean, it's just.
No, I don't know.
But you're certainly right. There's no reason why they can't.
Yeah.
Put this up in place of that.
I mean, it's 6 balloons take the place of thousands of.
Yeah, but is it going to be full coverage? I would assume not.
I don't know.
Well, even if it was just minimal coverage, just so you had emergency coverage, 911.
Oh no, that's what I mean. But I'm not saying it's a permanent solution. It's probably not. 6 balloons is probably
maybe
not
not
full coverage, but it should be enough for 911 service or whatever.
Okay, hold on a second, guys. Hey, Larry.
Hey, good morning.
Oh, we hear you now. Good. When you came
Great
first.
backdrop, Larry.
I'm actually, had to say, out of town with my wife this weekend. First time we've been away without the kids for a couple of years.
Great.
Nice. All right, everybody. So with us is Larry O'Connor, founder and CEO of OWC.
How you doing?
Otherworld Computing.
So Otherworld Computing, OWCdigital.com, and, of course, MacSales.com.
All right. So, Nick was looking at that doc that you sent us, and that is it's impressive. It's really impressive. Hey, Nick is showing it now. There it is.
You got to take it out of the box.
Nick still doesn't have a blonde wig.
Or a MacBook.
We'll do it sometime. So, first tell us what is OWC known for, and tell us about the company. I want you to talk about the green and about awards and all that kind of stuff first.
Sure. We're known for our Mac upgrades. We've been doing Macintosh upgrades and external storage solution, processor acceleration for, pretty much 3 decades. And, more recently, we've really had a very significant focus the last decade on high performance external storage. We've always done external storage. In fact, Firewire was an area that we were really well known for in the audio, video, film production area. But, starting a few years ago, Thunderbolt, we really sought to expand that line, expand that customer base. But going back to the core, we've always been a customer focused organization. We started, effectively, seeing issues with what we able, for actually folks like ourselves, and what we could do better. Whether it was a storage solution, whether it was a better way or an easier way for somebody to upgrade their Mac or other Apple computer. Also processor upgrades. And there came opportunities to make these systems, an existing system, faster than new. As always, and this kind of goes to the core of the company. I'll get to the environmental side, but taking the what's there and effectively getting the maximum out of it for the best budget and also the best use of resources. Why replace something that's perfectly awesome already? Just because you need a little more speed, if you can make what you have better, faster, and keep it going. And the company today, our headquarters is in Woodstock, Illinois. It actually uses geothermal for its heating, cooling. There's a wind turbine on premise, 500 kilowatt Vestas that used to supply 100% of the power, but as we grew and expanded the operation, we added solar to the roof to make up, for the additional needs. We also have an operation in Austin, which has solar on the roof. But it's really, if you look at everything we do, for the computer technology space and what we do with our company, It's really taking a look at what technology is available for us to maximize the resources available. And for our customers, that means making their systems faster, giving them more storage so they can do more quickly, and focus on the creative aspects or the work, whatever they need to get done, as opposed to having to worry about technology. The intention is plug and play and go. In the case of the dock, it's got all the ports you need. So one connection, it powers that laptop and gives you your FireWire, gives you Ethernet, it gives you a bunch of USB ports, gives you audio in and out, gives you more gives you Thunderbolt 3 for continuing that chain. It's one device that makes life really easy, especially if you're on the go. I mean, you can take your laptop between work and home or other locations, have places, and one connection, and you're up and going. It has it supports 4K display, so, and a 5K. So I can go on and on. It's at the end of the day, it's about what our customers need.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody that has, especially something like a laptop that hardly has any ports, this is great. This is really nice. All the ports on it. I mean, everything is. It's not that you have to have the latest laptop in order to use that. Correct? It's normal. Thunderbolt is Thunderbolt, right?
Well, they changed some things with Thunderbolt 3, but you can use the Thunderbolt 3 dock on a Thunderbolt 2 or Thunderbolt equipped system. So, I guess the short answer is yes, you can use it on any Thunderbolt equipped computer. Thunderbolt 3 plugs directly into with Thunderbolt 1 and 2. You use an adapter to get those ports. And we also have a Thunderbolt 2 dock, which is similarly equipped, which again plugs directly into any Thunderbolt 2 equipped system or Thunderbolt 1.
Okay. And as far as the throughput, is the user expected to see slowdown on the Ethernet or on any of the other, on the USB, any of those, or is it pretty good? Uh-oh.
Looks like we lost him.
Okay, let's wait and see. Larry, if you can hear us, go ahead and refresh your page. All right, we'll wait, and he'll probably realize that he's going. But this thing is great. I mean,
it's got let's see. It says on the back, it's 13 points of connectivity. So it's got one mini display port that'll support 4K at 60 hertz. It's two Thunderbolt 3 ports, 1 gigabit Ethernet, a FireWire 800 port for some legacy FireWire, either drives or camcorders or whatever you may be connecting. An SPDIF audio, which is interesting. You don't see that often. 5 USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports, an SD card reader, and the only thing that I don't like about it is it's a hybrid headphone mic jack. It really should have a microphone and two separate jacks for that. Those hybrid jacks are kind of a pain.
So I'm really wondering, and it's got Thunderbolt 3 ports. What happened if you plug it into a Thunderbolt 2
From what?
on the computer?
Larry's back.
Larry, you back?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
The connection's back.
All right.
On Thunderbolt 2, you still get all the functionality.
It's
reduced bandwidth, but nonetheless, the dock still provides the same functions.
It's like using a USB 2 hub on a USB or USB 3 hub on a USB 2 port. It'll still work.
Yeah, but it will not. It will not. It doesn't kind of like convert the Thunderbolt 2 to a 3 when you plug in it into the dock. Correct? It's 2.
Yeah, you'll be operating at Thunderbolt 2 speeds,
Yeah.
but what's kind of nice is at that point, if you have if you do want to connect to other Thunderbolt 3 devices, you can actually then chain off the dock.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How about the Ethernet? As far as the speed,
it's gigabit Ethernet. It's unaffected whether you're on a Thunderbolt 2 or Thunderbolt 1 machine. And honestly, unless the plan is to upgrade from if you have a Thunderbolt 2 equipped or a Thunderbolt equipped Mac, and you're looking to upgrade really soon Thunderbolt, no reason, in my opinion, not to just buy our Thunderbolt 2 dock. our Thunderbolt 2 dock provides, effectively all the connectivity, with the exception it does not have the SP diff, but everything else is there that you have on our Thunderbolt 3 dock, and that's, there's no adapter, that's plug and play. It's also a little bit lower cost for the previous generation Macs and PCs.
And what brought it? Why did you even come up with that? I mean, who was pushing hard, or are you a Mac user that you said, I need to have more, so let's see what we can do about it? How did it come to be?
The nice thing about OWC, all of our employees, our entire team, we use this hardware, we use this technology. And as a result of that, we get a lot of internal feedback, and we also interact with our customers at the different trade shows and such. We listen to those customers. We understand, what their needs and requirements are. So when Apple announced a new system that was kind of short on the ports, this goes back to 2013, we began work on our first dock. And that was based on, we really need more ports, and the abandonment of FireWire at that point was really an issue for a lot of folks that were transitioning to these newer Retina systems at the time. Especially, it's not just the camcorders and FireWire drives. It's also a lot of people have audio devices, really high-end audio. In fact, that goes through file. There's new stuff you can buy when you have a $2,000 or $3,000 investment, and that FireWire audio device for, I say that's top of the line. Ideally, you can continue using that, and our dock also gives that purpose as well. So from just basic storage, making it easy to access all those drives people have collected over the years, all the way to audio production purposes. Now, there's a lot of thought and a lot of reasons that those ports are on this device.
Okay, and Nick made a point of saying about the audio out port, that it's a hybrid, that it's combined.
I heard that.
There is enough room on the hardware. Why not go? Why didn't you go with the old style? Here's a headphone jack, here's a mic jack.
And maybe it's our Apple influence, but a lot of Apple ships, of course, their devices with the integrated microphones. So that's a plug-in. When we look at schools, a lot of the schools utilize, use headsets that have the both the microphone built in as well as the the speakers with the mic, all part of the headset, and they tend to be single cable devices. You can split that out, of course, and we have the separate SP diff, which is audio only. So that was kind of that's sort of the reason that we'll have to give that some consideration on future units. But a lot of the folks that connecting audio to it, the dual hasn't been it's less an issue, of course, for somebody who's either used for gaming or somebody who's just using it for audio out. I understand. In this kind of podcast kind of scenario, you'd want the two, certainly would want the two jacks as opposed to the one.
Okay, who is your competition? How does it compare? Are there devices that out there that do the same thing, but they are inferior? Obviously, they would be inferior because you have something newer, and the newer stuff always has more. So, how does it? What sticks in your mind? What makes this one better than the others?
From a price and performance, and from just a versatility point of view, there's today nothing that comes close. It's really the number of ports you get, the throughput that you get with the product, and it's at the price point. There's some solutions that cost more or the same that have less ports. There's some products that are out there that cost a little bit less, but they have far fewer ports. In terms of being, one solution that really does it all and does it all really well. It kind of stands alone today.
So how much is it?
It's $299.
$299. That's the MSRP, or that's what it's sold on the street?
Yeah, that is street. There's street and MSRP on this product are pretty tight.
Okay.
But at $299, remember that doesn't just add all those ports; it also powers the laptop as well. That's if you're on the road, you can bring keep your Apple adapter, your USB-C adapter, Type-C adapter, in your bag, because you don't need to take it out when you're at home or at the office.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Where
And
do
I should add, we do have other dock solutions. We have a $49 travel dock, which gives you USB Type A. It gives you video. It gives you Ethernet. And on top, it also has an SD card reader built into it. Plus, your Type C adapter can plug into it. So it'll power right. It doesn't take up an extra port. It goes. The power adapter can plug into into our dock, and then the dock plugs into your computer and gives you those ports again with plenty of power to charge and operate. And if you are on the road and without power, all the ports still operate. You can use it with or without the adapter. But when you're someplace where you do need the charge or you do need power, it's not taking up a second port. I mean, that's sweet, and that's a $49 product. So we have, when it comes to docks, we have our travel dock. We have a Type C, a USB Type C dock that's about $140 street, and then we go up to the Thunderbolt 3 dock, which is really call it our flagship dock with the most bandwidth, the most ports, and for the higher end systems that have the Thunderbolt 3 to take advantage of. So we kind of have the whole that whole span covered.
Well,
our Thunderbolt 3 dock really is the top of the game.
It sure sounds like it, and it looks like it. And I mean, and the thing is not a toy, guys. I mean, it's you feel like you're holding something in your hand.
Weighs a pound, almost a pound and a half. It's heavy, which is good. I mean, you want something that doesn't fly around on the desk when you plug something into it. It's definitely got some weight to it, which is good.
Yep. Guys, any of you have any other questions? Spence?
Oh, I just have a comment to say. I've been browsing the site, and the inventory of used Macs that you have, impressive, and the fact that you have a full line of upgrade products for Mac. Sometimes it's really hard to find good advice, especially in the Mac sense, to what memory do I need? And you go out and look on the internet, and you don't necessarily find the answer you want. But this is a great site.
I should say, memory was actually the very first upgrade that we ever sold, and that was just due to kind of the number one, it was an upgrade that was easy to talk to people about and teach people how to do, and number two, it was something that when I learned how to upgrade memory myself for the first time, I was kind of like, okay, it's about an hour and a half round trip, plus time to unplug and haul, a much larger computer back 30 years ago to a computer shop. They want you to spend 10, 15 minutes filling out paperwork and going through whatever. Then they want you to come back a day later, and then you find out it's a 5-minute upgrade. And a lot of people weren't upgrading their systems because memory, certainly when you went back to the dealer, was expensive. And by enabling people to do this at home for a much lower cost and, quite frankly, showing people how easy it is with videos, first instruction guides and then later videos, I couldn't believe, this goes back, even about 15, 18 years, I was looking at schools, and I couldn't believe how many schools would buy in brand new labs of computers, brand new fleets of systems. They focus on how many seats they could have a computer in front of, so they kind of maybe skimp on the memory or something else. And then 2 years later, these underpowered systems, they'd be ready to spend another $1,500 or more a seat to replace them. And started to really go in and push there and say, hey, and I started to write about it because you had places that were doing the upgrades, but the majority really weren't. And when you find out for $100 at the time, you can make those systems run circles around what you're going to spend $1,500 on with another ill-equipped configuration. It's upgrades. There's these systems were built to last, and Macs especially. I mean, those used Macs, even machines from 7 years ago still run Apple's latest 10.13 OS today, and they run it well. And throughout our site and the upgrades, the memory guides are made to be very easy, determine exactly what you need for your system. And not all memory is the same either. I mean, the same speed and the same spec. There are other little details that that Apple requires, and not broadly. I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound scary. It's just the devil's sometimes in the details, and getting the right memory for your system the first time certainly saves you some headaches later. But whether it's memory or hard drives or even optical drives and processors too, we have videos that actually show people how to open these machines up and install the upgrades. And once you watch one of these videos, you see a lot of the stuff is really, really easy. So if the choice becomes, I need more hard drive space, or I need a bigger SSD. Actually, I want to upgrade to an SSD. I shouldn't be talking about hard drives today. Oh, did I freeze out?
No, you're okay.
All right. The internet, I noticed throughout the week here, it'll pause for like 30 seconds to a minute at a time occasionally.
No, you're fine.
But
why don't you want to
area,
talk about hard drives?
Sure.
No, why did you say I should? I don't know if I should talk about hard drives.
Oh, I said I shouldn't be talking about hard drives.
Why?
If you're upgrading today, the system that still has a hard drive, please upgrade to a solid state drive. That is the difference between night and day. More storage. If everything's working great and you really just need more storage, it's a server that that you're not sitting there working on. Hard drives are still great. Hard drives are great, for especially in RAIDs for video, for audio production, still today. But if it's your laptop or your iMac or your Mac Mini or your PC, the desk, whatever system you're using, during the day in real time, if it's still running on a hard drive, and that's the reason you're, and I should rather say, and you're thinking, this is slow, that's the reason you're considering it's time for an upgrade. Buying an SSD and upgrading that hard drive over to a solid state drive, you're gonna be good for quite a period of time.
But having a good place to go to get information about doing that, sometimes the SSD conversion process can be daunting. There are all kinds of factors you need to take into account, and having those videos and having that information available at the same place you buy it is great.
Yeah, and we have our staff is all based in the U.S. I mean, they're available 24/7. In addition to the videos, those a real live, a team of folks is there also that can answer questions and help with these upgrades. But most of the kits that we offer, in fact, they all are offered this way. I guess actually all the kits really, you have the option of getting them with an external transfer enclosure. So your old drive can go into this enclosure. You put the new drive in the system, and then it's very easy to move the data over. And this is all, there's instructions and video that, it's daunting if you've never done it, but once you see the process, it's more about, having that, whether it's depending upon the system, 5 or 10 minutes to some systems 45 minutes, but it's less about it being a real complex operation. Once you look at it and can, and look at the steps, more about just having the time set aside to do it. And it's time well worth it, to say the least.
And where do people go to watch these videos? Tell them.
They go to MacSales, MacSales.com. And we have a huge video section that covers pretty much every Mac model from today all the way back, back into the late 90s. So it's a very large library that's there to help people get what they need done.
Now, reading about the company, I mean, you also have products for PCs, right?
Yeah, actually, nearly every product we offer is PC compatible, and we support these products for both the Mac and the PC. It's one of those things that the Mac has always been, Apple has kind of always been our backyard, but now we continue to support the PC. We have a significant, following of PC users, and I always feel bad when I, spend so much time talking about the Mac. I mean, the Mac is certainly, something that Apple's been something I've been passionate about for a long time. But nonetheless, we use PCs in our operation, and I'm certainly a believer you use what is best for you to get the job done. And in addition to supporting, we don't have the video library for the PC side. It's a little, harder to do with such a large variety of PCs. But our team is still there to support the PC side of the equation, and the same support we offer for Mac users, we also offer for the PC.
Okay. So
PCsales.com, which one day will, look a lot more PC friendly.
MacSales.com.
And OWC Digital. In addition to just direct from MacSales.com, you can find our products on Amazon. You can also find our products from places like Adorama and B&H and Mac Hollywood. I mean, the products are actually resold by a great partnership of resellers around the world today. So we certainly appreciate coming direct to our site, but also there's great local support for users, and it's also great to be able to find our products in those stores, and certainly appreciate the support for them as well.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question: is where do people buy them? But yeah, Amazon, any place that has good products. This is not a fly-by-night product. This is solid. And now I've got a question.
Sure.
And we're going to go away from this. you have a wind generator on site at your offices, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's a Vestas 500 kilowatt turbine.
I mean, reading about those turbines, everybody that lived not half a mile from it, or I don't know how close it is to the building, always complain about that whoosh, 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 whoosh. Is that not something that your people are complaining about?
Never, and it's a pretty good distance from the building, and even so you can hear it, but it's only one, so it's not like it's a giant farm of them, and the noise really isn't that bad. It's nowhere near, and maybe the first time you're there, it's one of those things when it's new, you notice it. The other good news, the location that we put our headquarters, that the actual piece of land, we actually also bought wetland to preserve. So there's a big wetland barrier between where our turbine is and where the next housing is. So it's more than a half a mile before there's even residences.
Oh.
But even that being said, you can be in our parking lot, and it's actually you want to hear it because it means the wind's blowing and it's cranking power, but it's nothing where it gets on your nerves. It's not it's really not a bad sound. I would imagine if we put 10 of them up, it'd be a different story, but it's actually kind of a pleasant sound, quite frankly.
That's very nice. This is great. I guess you don't need UPSs in the building, in the offices, because you have your own.
Yeah, we still have a generator on. I mean, the wind doesn't always blow, and we're watching battery technology and flywheel technology, because the next step, we actually put a lot of power back on the grid, depending upon what we have solar on the roof, we have the wind. So when the wind is obviously blowing good, and we got the sun, we're creating quite an excess. So we're looking forward to the next step, actually keeping that power on premise, so that we can, like I say, we're always powering our facility, even when the wind isn't blowing and the sun isn't shining as bright. But technology's come such a long ways. I mean, it's actually really exciting to see what Elon's doing over in Puerto Rico. See if he can re-electrify that island with solar and a battery system to help them recover.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Hopefully, it'll prove itself.
I hope so.
All right. Well, we're at the end of the show. Was there anything else that you wanted to add? First of all, is there anything that we did not cover?
We could talk for hours probably. So, that maybe there's time. Maybe there'd be another show.
Well, I mean, did anything go through your mind right now when I said at the end of the show anything go through your mind and says, "Oh shoot, I forgot to mention that"?
Well, that'll happen as soon as we end the show. As soon as I hit the end button. So,
okay, all right.
Really appreciate being here. This has been a lot of fun.
No, this is great. I mean, to have you here is really nice, and Karen did a great job promoting you, and we will do it again.
You've got
definitely.
There's a picture on your site. If you do go to the bottom of the page about us, you've got the picture of the on-site power generation with the 500 kW turbine and how close it is to the building. We can see a picture of it here.
All right. Yeah, I didn't see.
It's a little farther away than it looks, but nonetheless, it's because it's pretty.
It looks pretty far away, like a half a mile or more. Yeah.
A little closer than that, but nonetheless.
Interesting. Well, good.
Nonetheless. It's done a great job, and that was something that was planned when we first put that building up. Actually, did all sorts of fun things with the building. So we had geothermal. It's a LEED Platinum. So it's actually one of only 300 LEED Platinum certified buildings in the world that was brand new construction from the ground up. So a lot of thought was put into that to make it a really great place environmentally for people to work. And I mean, in terms of health, lots of natural light, the air quality and whatnot, and then conservation in terms of energy consumption, being very efficient.
Yeah, and less bills to pay out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a win-win. I mean,
absolutely.
That's just like upgrades. I mean, let's take advantage of technology to reduce, our dependency on anything. I mean, let's maximize those resources. When you take a computer to recycling, I'm going to tell you that is a very wasteful process. And I certainly can go a long way on that. If you can keep a system in service with some simple upgrades, really keep. I mean, again, it's one thing to have something that's just barely, able to get you by, but upgrade, especially you take a system with a hard drive, put an SSD in there, give it a little more memory. If it's a lack of storage, I mean, the things that, we see so many systems out there that people never did anything with. And it's like, geez, if they just for a tiny little investment, that computer could have been so much more. And they spent a fortune on it, when they bought it. I mean, we've seen systems that come in with 12 cores. They still have, the original stock hard drive and the stock 12 gigs of memory. It's like, wow, that's pretty surprised. They spent literally a couple $1,000s to upgrade that processor and never really gave it the memory and never gave it the other pieces to really put those processors to work. So upgrades really do make a difference. They're very economical and they're very productive. Again, it's a lot in the last nice, benefit of upgrading a Mac or a PC. More so a Mac, not always the case in the PC, but nonetheless, when you do an upgrade and you do that nice transfer data from the old drive to the new drive, the same OS still works, the applications you have still work, everything still works. It just works potentially faster. Even upgrading a hard drive, it's just you need more space than an SSD offers. Today's hard drives are much faster than drives 3 years, 5 years. 10 years ago, they're really upgrading an old system. But even if it's an older system, if it still does everything you need it to do, an upgrade really is it can be a very, very good choice. And at the end of the day, that system stays in service, continues to do what you need it to do, and you save yourself the headache with a new computer of finding out, well, I can't use the older OS, and my applications that I had won't work on the newer system, the new OS version. So I got to go through all these upgrades. Maybe there's conversions. There's some other benefits to upgrading. You can decide, for one thing, when you want to upgrade to that next OS. So anyway, there's all sorts of benefits. This was fun.
Larry, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Where are you?
I'm in Colorado this weekend.
Nice view behind you. It's a nice green screen, I was going to say, but... All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Larry.
Very welcome. Thank you. I appreciate
Larry
it.
OConnor with CEO of OWC.
Just the founder.
That is the founder. Well, yeah.
Thank
right.
you very much.
Sure. We'll do it again.
Alrighty.
This guys, this is really you need to go and read about Larry. There is a lot of information there to know about OWC. It's not that we don't hear about these type of companies enough because all the big names we hear all the time. OWC is not a small company.
3 locations.
It is, but what they're doing and how they're doing it, it's amazing. I mean, I love it. I mean, I was reading it and I was saying, wow, I'm getting excited over having him on the show. So we'll definitely
Field trip.
We'd love to have you. Absolutely.
Remote.
Doing a show on the road. Let's pack it up.
Fantastic.
I'll rent a van. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just let us know when, and we'll make it so.
Okay, so that's it. We are at the end of the show. Anybody wants to add anything, guys?
Thanks for having me, Emma.
Are you saying thanks for having you?
Yes, of course.
Well, it's, for those of you that are interested, Nick has been here now. This is the 3rd day.
Yeah, up from Wilmington for the weekend. So.
Yeah.
Is he cutting your grass?
No, but he's helping a lot with VMix, and we this was a productive weekend for both of us.
That's a fact.
Yep. So anyway, all right. Thanks everybody. Thanks, Steve.
Great hanging with you. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Take it
Bye.
easy.
Thanks, Larry.
Steve, Spence,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Did I say thank you, Mike? I did. Remember to practice safe computing, update your virus scanner, back up your hard drive. Well, if you have any questions, you can always call us, but we'll be here next Sunday at 9. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight at 7, it's going to be Nick Craig, and he hosts Against the Norm. No, you will. On Wilmington Big Talker 106.7, and you can listen on TuneIn.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.